Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Edwin van der Sar will not stand in Erik ten Hag's way if he asks to move to Manchester United. The compensation package could be less than 5 million for Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is ready to leave Ajax at the end of this season. Not so long ago, it said Manchester United are close to agreeing personal terms with Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is the favourite to become Manchester United's next permanent manager. Erik ten Hag has been the Ajax manager for over 4 years. Ajax appointed him back in December 2017. His contract expires next year. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's developed the young players well. He's won some Dutch Cups, he's won a couple of Eredivisie titles, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. So there you go. Ajax is the 4th club he's managing in his managerial career. Ten Hag is the former Utrecht, Bayern Munich and Go Ahead Eagles manager. But I reckon if Ten Hag became Manchester United's next manager, he would suit the trappings of the club, he would get the best out of these group of players and he would be capable of winning trophies. And it would be good for him to come and experience the Premier League because he's not yet managed in the Premier League. David Ornstein from The Athletic said not so long ago that Man United ideally want to appoint a manager by the end of this month. Sky Sports News said yesterday that Man United have a 4-man shortlist for the next manager, and Thomas Tuchel is not included. You know, the names that have been mentioned is Ten Hag, Mauricio Pochettino, Luis Enrique and Julian Lopetegui. Ralph Rangnick, he's been Manchester United's interim manager for nearly 4 months. He's Manchester United's interim manager. It did initially say until the end of the season, then it did say at the first that he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years, but obviously the consultancy role is in doubt. He said not so long ago that Man United are considering sacking Ralph Rangnick. Rangnick has lost 4 games in all competitions as Manchester United's interim manager. Earlier on this season it said Rangnick wanted the permanent Man United job. I've got a lot of respect for Rangnick. I think he's a very good coach. You know, he's been totally blameless for the poor performances. You know, the players have had to take responsibility for the poor performances. There has been good performances as well under Rangnick. Rangnick has endured 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Unfortunately, he didn't get backed in the January transfer window this year. Man United endured a very disappointing January transfer window because we didn't make any signings, and we should have let the likes of Lingard and Henderson leave, but we blocked their exits, and as you all know, we had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of January. On the other side of things, Man United let around 8 players leave in January. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Rangnick did say earlier on this season that his aim is for Man United to finish in the top four this season. Man United's focus is now the top four because obviously Man United can't win a trophy this season. Not so long ago we got knocked out of the Champions League by Atletico Madrid. Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. But if Man United do sack Rangnick, that will be the 5th manager to be sacked since Ferguson. So far Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. And the 4 managers we've sacked since Ferguson, we sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Man United are not really known as a sacking football club. In the last 10 years, Manchester United have only won 4 trophies. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. And in the last 10 years, Manchester United have spent over 1.3 billion. So we spent a substantial amount. We've brought over 40 odd players in since Ferguson retired. Obviously when we had Moyes brought 2 players in. When we had Van Gaal, he brought around 15, 16 players in. When we had Mourinho recommended 11 players into the club. And when Solskjaer was Man United manager, he brought around 14 players in. And let me put into the equation, none of this squad is Rangnick's. Rangnick is inheriting players who other managers have brought in. Revert back to the other week. It said Old Trafford could be demolished as Man United look to upgrade the stadium. This is what the Glazers are planning. Man United have played at the same stadium for 112 years. So basically, Man United are looking to increase the capacity to around 80,000. At the moment, Old Trafford holds around 75,000. Old Trafford is the second biggest stadium in England. And the Glazers, they've owned Manchester United for around 16.5 years. The Glazers bought Manchester United for 500 million back in 2005. They have been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time, and I've said we need to get them out. Earlier on this year, Richard Arnold got appointed in as Manchester United's new chief executive. Richard Arnold did replace Ed Woodward. Well, it was good news from Man United perspective that Woodward stepped down earlier on this year because Woodward was one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time. He was accountable and that for how poor our recruitment policy was. Woodward was at Manchester United for 17 years. In the summer of this year, Man United will make signings. In the summer of this year, I'm expecting Manchester United to sign a midfielder. I'm also expecting Man United to sign a striker. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. So in the summer, I reckon Henderson will leave. Henderson should have left in January, like I said. Henderson is our second choice goalkeeper. Henderson doesn't really get in goal because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson's only made 3 appearances this season. Earlier on this season, Henderson got arrested for abusing his girlfriend. Earlier on this season he was out with Covid for a while. Towards the end of last season, Henderson got that number 1 jersey, and to his credit, he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last year. Henderson's got that experience behind him because before he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield, he's also had other loan spells before with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. And Henderson is under contract to Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year. The Manchester Evening News have said today that Manchester United are prepared to sell club captain Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is not good enough to represent the club. I can't understand how he's still captain. You know, a lot of Manchester United fans have been demanding for the captaincy to be taken off him. Earlier on this season, Rangnick said that Maguire will remain Man United captain until the end of the season. Prior to the game against City at the Etihad, it mentioned that Maguire was upsetting his teammates in the dressing room. Manchester United overpaid for Maguire. We got him for 80 million, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's the second most expensive signing at the club. Maguire's been at Man United for over 2 years. He's endured quite a few injuries as well since he signed for the club. Erik and Phil Jones, also expecting them to leave in the summer because, you know, Jones and Baye don't really get in the team. And Wan-Bissaka, you know, Man United could look to sell him in the summer. You know, and Wan-Bissaka is not good enough to represent the club. I think he's alright defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. And Wan-Bissaka is not our first choice right back under Rangnick. Diego Dalot's our first choice right back under Rangnick. You know, this season has been Wan-Bissaka's third full season at Man United. Man United got Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. Got him for £50 million. You know, do you think Diego Dalot and Alex Telles could leave in the summer? Because they've been subjected to transfer speculation before. As you all know, Telles and Dalot are our first choice fullbacks under Rangnick. Matic, I'm expecting him to leave Manchester United in the summer. Well, he's out of contract in the summer. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got at the moment. And as you all know, I've always had my strong reservations about him. Manchester United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017, got him in a deal worth 40 million. So Matic has been a Man United player for over 4 years. Paul Pogba, there's a good chance he'll be leaving Man United this summer. Well, Pogba is out of contract at Man United this summer. Earlier on this season, Pogba's trainer claimed that Pogba will leave Old Trafford. I heard that Pogba is interested in a Juventus return. Well, he did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he re-signed for Man United. And he said earlier on this season from the Telegraph that Pogba is open to staying in the Premier League if he leaves Man United this summer. You know, Pogba is a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Earlier on this season was out with injury for a while. Well, he is injury prone because he's endured quite a few injuries since he re-signed for the club. You know, Manchester United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. And this season has been Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's played over 200 games since he re-signed. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Donny van der Beek and Martial, I'm expecting Man United to get rid of them permanently in the summer. At the moment, Van der Beek's out on loan with Everton and Martial's out on loan with Sevilla. Lingard, he'll also leave Man United in the summer. Lingard should have left in January. Lingard's out of contract in the summer. Lingard has been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy and that, but doesn't really get in the team. The second half of last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Juan Mata, I'm expecting him to leave Man United in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Matt has been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. I initially thought Ronaldo was going to be leaving, but this summer, but it looks like that's not going to be happening now because AS said not so long ago that Ronaldo has no plans to leave Man United this summer as he's willing to see out his contract. And Cavani, he'll leave Man United in the summer. Cavani's been linked to a move to Brazil. He's also been linked to a move to La Liga. Well, he's out of contract at Man United in the summer. We did get Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. So there you go. As you all know, Manchester United lost their last game to Atletico Madrid 1-0. But Manchester United won their last league game against Tottenham 3-2. As you all know, Ronaldo got a hat-trick in that game. It was his first hat-trick since he re-signed and he became the highest scorer in football history. Manchester United's next game is Leicester City. It is on the 2nd of April. It is at Old Trafford. It won't be an easy game. You know, Leicester have not been nowhere near as good this season as they have been in recent seasons. But, you know, Leicester have still got some good players, you know, in their team. You know, they do have a Harvey Barnes. That's good. You know, Jamie Vardy, he's very, very good. Don't forget Jamie Vardy, risen up from non-league football to emulate to the level that he's now at. They got Iheanacho, who's also a good attacking player. Leicester also have Patson Daka, Boubacar Soumaré, Lookman, who's good. James Maddison, he's a very good attacking midfielder. You know, Leicester got James Maddison from Norwich. You know, they paid around £20 million for him. Man United were linked to him a long time ago. Wilfred Ndidi, he's a very good midfielder. Yori Tillemans, you know, he's a very good midfielder. Leicester got Yori Tillemans from Monaco. I think Yori Tillemans is Leicester's most expensive signing. Leicester got him for around 40 million with add-ons included. At one point though, Leicester had Yori Tillemans on loan. They got James Justin, Luke Thomas, Marco Brighton. They got Ricardo Pereira. One of the centre-halves they've got is Johnny Evans. Don't forget Johnny Evans is a former Manchester United player. Johnny Evans endured 7 years at Manchester United. Wesley Fofana, you know, he's a good defender. Soyuncu, he's good. Got Armati. Leicester's first choice goalkeeper is Kasper Schmeichel. They have Timothy Kaskinen. He's a defender, I think. Chaudhary as well. So yeah, they are a lot of the players that Leicester do have. Let me put into the equation that they've lost good players of Leicester. They lost Ben Chilwell to Chelsea. They also lost N'Golo Kante and Danny Drinkwater to Chelsea. So Chelsea have done good transfer business with Leicester before. They lost Harry Maguire to Man United back in the summer of 2019. But like I said, Leicester did get £80 million for him. Then they lost Riyad Mahrez to Man City back in 2018. I think Pryor also left them. Alright. So there you go. And Leicester's manager is Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is a good manager. At Leicester, Brendan Rodgers has won the FA Cup. Leicester won the FA Cup last season. They beat Chelsea in the final 1-0. And Rodgers has also won the Community Shield. And he's been a Leicester manager now for quite a few years. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. Before Leicester, Brendan Rodgers managed Celtic. He enjoyed quite a few years with them. He won quite a few trophies with Celtic. Before Celtic managed Liverpool, he enjoyed one good season with Liverpool. Before Liverpool managed Swansea, and before managed Watford, Reading, and a lot of years ago he managed Chelsea's youth. So they're the clubs he's managed in his managerial career so far. And before Rodgers, Leicester had Claudio Puel. Leicester sacked him, and before then they had Claudio Ranieri. Don't forget, Leicester won the Premier League when they had Claudio Ranieri, and that was a fairy tale. Leicester won the game at Old Trafford last season 2-1. Leicester beat Manchester United at the King Power Stadium earlier on this season 4-2. So there you go. And Man United were supposed to be playing Liverpool on the 20th of this month. But as you all know, the game did get postponed because Liverpool had to play in the FA Cup quarter-final. The game against Liverpool has been rearranged to, the 19th of April. So yeah, so anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.